guys, welcome to my video. So for today's video, we're going to have the top 3 main pocket words with regards to Humss strand. Let's go! Top The top 3 main word was bias and non-bias. Bias and non-bias. So of course, as a Humss student, we often hear the word bias and non-bias since we are always tackling about social issues, the things that is happening around every single society or every single sector in the community. So we always hear, are you biased in this kind of practices, or are you non-biased with this kind of practices? So we often hear the word non-bias and bias word. As you can see, as a Humss student myself, being biased is very normal to us as an individual, even though as a journalist we have different of course, if you're in the field of journalism, you're going to have a circumstance where you need to be very balanced or very true, or you're just stating the facts, not your personal opinions regarding it, because you don't want to impose your personal conceptions on other people. But there are some fields who doesn't need to restrict themselves for being biased because that is their work, like editorial writers, or even on psychology, or even on counseling. There is still some restrictions with regards of your personal opinions or personal ideas. So I think being biased and non-biased depends on how you train yourself on teaching other people what you wanted to know, what they wanted to know. But in terms of being biased and non-biased, it is better to be truthful, or being stick to the facts, so that we can prohibit the circumstances where we need to contradict our job just to fight for our personal intuitions. Adding to this is being biased and non-biased depends as an individual. Of course, we cannot stop ourselves on expressing what we wanted to express, right? So we always hope for a better future and long happiness, and so with regards to that, we don't need to stop ourselves from feeling bad on stating our own opinions. Next, number two is pride. Or ego, or pride and ego is different, but pride on as a Humss student, or some people think there's always a first impression that Humss students are very prideful or have a lot of pride. But no, it depends on a person though. I believe that having pride depends on a person, not because of his or her chosen strand, but because some people has a first impression or assumption that Humss students are very smart or very knowledgeable enough, or likes discourse, likes debate, because we always have different kinds of sides, always have different kinds of opinions and principles in life. But we believe as a Humss student, we take this as a positive connotation, that having pride gives us the confidence to fight for what we think is right, and to accept also what we learn from other people, or the criticisms of other people from our works. So having pride shouldn't have a negative connotation to our strand. So I hope people who gives us this, who often gives us this kind of words, like you are very prideful, like yabang mo na, palibhasa, Humss, wag ka masyadong maalam, baka ikabagsak mo, like teaching other people what you're knowledgeable enough, or clearing to them what they think is right but actually wrong, in terms of conforming to the society is not being pure of pride at all. It's just sincere teaching of what we've learned from this strand. And as a young student, we don't see ourselves as very superior in terms of studies. We don't see ourselves as being too much in terms of activities or written outputs. We just think that as a in Humss or in studying humanities and social science, we should be human enough. We should have those sincerity to teach people the right way to be to impose humanity in our society. So we are not being proud. So I hope we cleared this out. So yeah. So next is progressive. Sometimes people we forget the real meaning of progressive. Meaning of because there are some hidden internal meanings. Some people believe that being progressive has an internal meaning and has a negative connotation with it. Like, bakit ganyan ka magsalita? Aktivista ka ba? Hala, progresibo ba? Hindi ba aktivista lang gumagamit? And so, sometimes, if people tell us that, we tell people that it's good to be progressive, their assumption of us we're being activists or being rebels. I hope, but though, respect to those people who believe that they should be activists. We respect that. But generalizing people, like most especially youth strand, which is we are being exposed to law, to social science, to government, to politics, to human relationships, to society, and to the history, existence of how all of this started, doesn't mean that being progressive is wrong behavior. I mean, being progressive is a right behavior. Progressive, it means you are having progress, or you are having a continuous path of success in your life. So I hope that we should clear this word, not just to Humss strand, but also to all the strands, that the word progressive doesn't connotate other negative meanings, or doesn't impose meanings that you want to think of yourself. So being progressive is a good thing, and I hope that you don't use progressive word, most especially with correlating to Humss strand, just because we are exposed to things that not a typical teenager or not a typical student would do. So that was the top 3 main words that I picked from the top 10. So the top 10 words that I actually put was on my blog, so it's in the description box, so I hope you can check it out. But yeah, I chose those top 3 main pocket words. I used pocket words because we always hear that and we put it on the pocket. Like, we always hear that kind of words and we put it in the pocket because as a Humss strand, we always have those stigma, those stereotypes from other people with regards to what we believe in, what our personal principles about everything. But I hope that in this short period of time you learned a lot: bias, non-bias, progressive, and having those prides. So I hope that it changes, it helps you change your stereotypes with regards to our strand. So thank you for watching. Bye.